Hey Ian, you ready?
You bet I am. What are we talking about tonight? And talk about guns?
If it's not a 30 cal, I'm not in.
Jeez, mate, that's not very inclusive. Have you seen Jono?
Hey Jono, you ready?
Well, God knows where he is, mate. He's probably caught up in the neighbour's wire again. Are you ready to go? Let's do this.
Mate, I'm ready. Let's crank it up.
Righto then. Welcome back, listeners, to another episode of the Hunter's Campfire, where we're going to talk about all things hunting and the great outdoors. And we'll probably throw in a few tips along the way.
You want a tip? Say it once, say it 1,000 times. Goats love rocks.
Or a few things about deer. Mark, what do you reckon about deer?
As a deer hunter, I love hunting pigs.
Well, that's about as useful as I expected it to be. Oh, check it out. Here comes Jono. He's being chased by the neighbour's dog.
Okay guys, let's get this started. Welcome to the Hunter's Campfire. Pull up a chair, get comfortable. It's time for the Hunter's Campfire. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Hunter's Campfire podcast 125, brought to you by this unidentified, very expensive cast iron.
You put a
fry
sticker
pan.
on a shitty old pan. I see what you did there.
$400 to the nearest and dearest follower. There
Right.
it is.
So when I say for prizes of immeasurable value, right there is one of those prizes. It's a second-hand cast iron pot with a Yeti sticker.
Mate, but it's it's got the brand on it.
That is classic.
There we
Very
go.
good. All right. Well,
So there we go. Good evening, Ian. How are you?
cold.
Yes.
Very, very cold.
I've just come back from athletics with my young sons, and it was remarkably uncomfortable standing on that hurdle
my
down
goodness.
there.
It is, yes, a serious amount of not very nice out there. We've had, so I'm up in Toowoomba or south of Toowoomba. So we're up on the escarpment at about 700 and something metres. And the last 3 mornings have been minus 3.7, minus 2.6. And this morning, which felt like the coldest and had the deepest frost, was minus 1.8, which I
Really?
think is tad chilly.
Well, ours has been going down the last 2 nights. So, like, this morning was colder than the following, the morning before. And I was looking at the temperature spread, and it's actually colder again this time as it was this time last night. So we might even have a colder one again. So yeah, we're actually having winter.
Yep, it's proper winter. It is, and it's expected to last for another week or so. So
Yeah.
get your puffies out. Buy it at Hunter's Campfire hoodie. They're great. They're warm. The orange glow around the inside of the hood makes me feel warmer.
I was looking, because there's fantastic imagery coming out of New South Wales of all the snow, and often we look at the places that we go to, Nundle and Hanging Rock being one of them. But really interesting, there was snow at the Kootabarabran Observatory, and interestingly, you can see that observatory from the Pilliga,
which is nuts, isn't it? Really,
you can see it. So, because obviously it's elevated, but you can actually see it. So, down in the lower reaches, it's not reaches. I think it was about 800 metres was the line where the snow was in New South Wales.
Jeebus. Oh dear.
So
I'm looking at the forecast. Tomorrow is the coldest day. I was whinging about how cold it was. Tomorrow's even colder. Holy hell. Yeah, well, it's yeah.
So, yeah, it seems to be dropping. So that's good.
That's okay. Kills the bugs, chases the mice away, resets the pasture. Yep, she's all good. We're happy. So, what's happening in the world of Mark down in Brizzy?
A couple of interesting things, both to do with SSAA. So, first is a community announcement. Public service announcement. If you are decided to, for instance, get one of your Children, firearms license, a junior firearms license. You'll go through the process and you'll do it online, and they'll ask you for 4 pieces of information, and you will duly supply them. And then you'll get if like me, you'll get an email saying they need a little bit more, and what they need is for you to go to the post office with said young person and ID, and basically the post office takes a photo of them and validates who they are. Okay? So you take in your ID. So what ID do you usually have for your young people? They're on your family Medicare card. You might have a passport. You may not. You will most definitely have a birth certificate.
If you've still...
Sure. Or you can get... And, for instance, my boy being in high school, he's got a photo ID from school.
Does that count?
Well, it's a photo ID, so you kind of take the bundle. You know, kind of here they go. Here's the really interesting thing. This is the announcement, and this is the current arm wrestle we're going through. What do none of those things have on them? What they don't have is the address.
Huh.
And they want an address, ID with an address or something with the address of a young person. For example, their tax return or their utilities bill or the rent notices they pay. And you go, okay, sure. And the kicker is one of them, one of the accepted forms of ID with an address on it is, wait for it,
Firearms license?
Firearms license.
How ironic.
So we've been trying to, so the advice that we got from SSAA was bank account.
Oh, yep.
So I went then with my son to the bank and they said, we don't give bank accounts to kids.
My son's got a bank account.
Yeah, some banks don't do bank accounts for kids.
But that's still not a form of ID. That's just proof.
No, well, what it is, the bank
statement.
the bank statement, if it has their name and their address on it, they regard that as enough to say that's where they are.
God, system's a pain in the ass sometimes.
So, yeah, well, I've literally been running around the countryside trying to figure out that at the moment. So, yes. So that's where we're at. That's where we're at. We're going to get it. We're going to beat it. We're only going to get there. But
there has to be a way.
We've got to get a bank. We've got to get a bank account with their name and their address on it. So that's what we're working on now. And some banks do it, some banks don't. One bank said, "Oh yeah, mobile phone." I go, "He's 12 years old. He doesn't have a mobile phone." And they went, "Oh," I said, "So what you're saying is he should have a mobile phone, but he's too young for a bank account." I went, "Oh, I'm not sure that's the right way the world should work." But anyway, I left that.
Oh, good. Well, thank you for blazing the way for.
How does he pay for this mobile phone, for instance?
Yeah. Oh, well, yes, of course. With the money he has in his sweatshop job after school.
Yeah, but it'd be cash only because he hasn't got a bank account. So the other interesting thing about SSAA is, though I have been a member for, I don't know how long, I've taken them up on their insurance.
Ah, rightio. Talk to me about that. I've always wondered.
Well, I didn't know what they did. So like most people, I saw this insurance thing and I completely ignored it. And I was doing some of my business insurance because we're at the end of financial year. And I just rang them up, just went, I wonder what it is. And I rang them up and they do public liability and professional indemnity insurance. So they're a general insurer. So they do like house contents, cars, things like that.
Oh, did you switch everything over?
No, I've just switched over my business insurance with them. And I will be getting them to look at my car insurance for my food business as well.
Right.
Yeah. They don't do stuff like, life insurance and things like that, but they do, they're in a general insurer or they're a broker for a general insurer. So yeah, they're actually now looking after my.
So did they have any good bundling options?
I do. I'm exploring. So, but certainly I didn't look at the house and contents. But I'm sure that the house and contents and motor vehicle, they probably bundle up if you're in. They were certainly very keen to, do quotes and do investigations and things like that. So, yeah, it was a really easy thing to do with. So as I said, I've swapped some of my insurance over to them. And it was, I mean, not only one is it AAA, so, membership, but it was cheaper, which was, a big part of the business insurance.
Yep.
So, yeah. So I'm going to look at my car insurance.
Yeah, I have been looking at switching insurers, so it might be worth a look. I hadn't really thought about them as a general insurer.
That's it. It kind of went, it's firearms and stuff like that, and kind of, yep, sure. But no, they actually do other stuff as well, or they're a broker, so they access other stuff for you.
Very good.
So, yes, very interesting.
Check them out. SSAA.com.au/insurance.
Something like that.
Google it. You'll find it. Good stuff. All right, I'll go check that out. Give us an update on the stinky head.
It's not stink at all. If we're talking about my deer head.
Yeah. Where's it up to?
It's not stink at all.
Is it on the wall?
No, it's outside. So, for those watching, see the two little holes in the skull there? And there's one of them has a little bit of fat retention around it, and it's just a little bit of discoloration. There's also inside the nasal cavity.
Of the other one, you're using that as an example.
Yeah, on the other one, there's a tiny little bit of fat still in there that hasn't dried out. And up behind on the back, there's a bit of discoloration. So it's sitting in this lovely winter sun at the moment, just slowly baking every day.
So that last little bit of fat that you might find in a seam of bone or something like that, you dry that out of it rather than waiting for it to rot out.
That's right. There is. That's what the smell is. So I'm trying to get rid of everything. I mean, you can boil it out or simmer it out. I could put it back in water and macerate it and put maybe a bit of detergent in there. That helps break it down a lot quicker. I could do lots of different things, but I'm just letting the sun cook it.
Yep.
And this is we've had like 5 days straight of no rain, lovely, clear, sunny days, sitting on top of a shed, so it's getting reflective heat on it.
Yep. Good. Yeah, mine. I think I've just left it in the water doing its thing. It's almost completely stripped off, but it had a couple of those little bits left.
Yeah, so. It's like when you look inside, like you can see right up inside, not the nasal cavity, but way up there, there's a little bit of discoloration. So okay, so there's 3, and even that one that's around there,
the back,
that's faded.
Oh yeah.
It's faded in the last couple of days, and so it's when you pick it up and you can still feel it's kind of a little bit soapy.
Yeah.
Other places of that, it's almost dry and it's got a slight resistance to it. It's smooth but dry. So that's it. I'm just drying them out. That one will replace that one, and the bigger one will go there. And it should work lengthwise. But I was actually talking to my lovely wife last night, and I said, I wonder what happens if I shoot a bigger buffalo this year.
We had that chat. Vertically up the door.
Yes, not sure where to put the bugger.
Front door.
Yeah.
You'll figure it out.
Yeah. I'm actually thinking I might put a couple on the shed because I've got lots of them. So, and next year I'm going to probably try and get myself a better deer. I'm already talking to someone about how to work towards that. So I've got to figure about that as well.
And you're going to bring home a whopping samba.
Well, so I mean, if we what happens if we shoot a samba with headgear?
The boys from Hellenic, they're gonna get us on. I tell you,
yeah.
So we're not far away. We're not far away. It's gonna be good.
I'm doing a little bit of pre-writing about friends from Hellenic Hunters, and I've been doing a little bit of research on their, just looking at their website, reading about them. They're mad keen shotgunners, you know that?
They're mad keen a lot of things that have guns involved.
Yeah, they're shooting, shotgunning's a big thing for them.
Mm.
Yeah.
Interesting. Might have to pack the shotgun.
Or go down at some other time for a kind of competition type of thing. But yeah, I've been reading up about them as a club. They're one of those smaller clubs, something like 500 members.
Yeah, not many.
Very, very focused on the hunting and the hunting side of things. So.
Yeah, it seems that way. Very focused on it. It's good. Oh no, that's cool. All right. Well, yeah. So I'm just finishing that red deer head off myself. I've just got to get it out and give it another clean off, and I might give it another few days in detergent water just to pull a bit of the fat out of it if there's any of it left. I notice I've got things swimming around in the water barrel. Yeah, eating flesh, self-sown, seeded, hatched, whatever.
I've never seen that.
Little black things cruising around, hundreds and hundreds of them. Maybe they're little deer. I don't know. Anyway, they're hatched in there.
I usually spray it pretty convincingly.
It doesn't stink at all.
No, but I've just found that it just keeps. I don't know, mate. I can't think of the only kind of buggy type things I've ever really had was that buffalo skull when I first.
I had plenty of white bugs on that one.
Peeled it from the territory, and it was like,
gotta walk home.
It's alive.
Gotta walk home. Yeah, so I got that, and here's an interesting thing. So I'll tell a story about a hunt that we went on during the week, but before I get to that, a reoccurring character by the name of Hendo has joined us on that hunt that we went on this weekend, and he was the main challenge of the week, if you like to put it that way. We need to get him his first deer. I'm going to say 3 years ago. I've had him on a few hunts. He just hasn't managed to take a deer, partially because I kicked him out of the way and shot it myself. And the other reasons, well, he just wasn't lucky enough to shoot it. But on this one occasion, he did help me drag a buck out in the very, very dark of night over a very steep, gnarly area. We had one, stubby antler each, and we dragged it for a while, and we were completely stuffed by the end of it, but it was a fun memory. So I kept the skin, and I got the leader's tanning solution, and I mixed it up in the bucket, in the big barrel, and I dumped it in there, and what do you know, I forgot about it.
Oh, God. Is there anything left?
Oh God, indeed. So I'm going to say 3 years later, we went on this hunt this weekend, and we just happened to have taken a few animals, which I'll talk about shortly. But we decided that we would drop one of the skins, being John's first deer, off at Mario and Stanthorpe, the taxidermist.
Yep.
He, in my opinion, does the best skins. He's very, very good at skins. So we dropped John's first deer off there, and we brought the rest home and decided that we would figure out how to do it ourselves. Because we got a bit of a plan as to what we want to do. We don't need floor rugs. We don't need throw rugs. I like the little rolls. You roll them up, put them nice and neat on a bookshelf, and they're quite ornate, and you can see the spots and stuff. They look really awesome as a roll. Have you not seen them?
No.
Stand by.
I understand the idea. I've just never seen it presented like that.
Yeah, so here is one that I have.
Yeah.
Just rolled up, nice and neat. And I put them on bookshelves. And they make really nice bookends, and they're nice little things that can go in your home, but it doesn't look like you got a dead animal on the floor or a dead animal on your chair.
Does it molt?
No. It's a properly taxidermied.
And that's a guy Mario does this for you?
Yeah, well, Mario gives me back the pelt, and then I roll them up into a little roll.
Yeah.
So, please hold.
I like that idea.
So on my bookshelf, I have this one, which I showed you, which is a fawn, which is why it's so light.
Yeah.
And I have the chocolate, and I have the fawn's mum rolled up nicely, and they just go really well. So anyway, and the good thing about it is it doesn't really matter how ugly your skinning job is, because you fold and cut and put all the bits in.
That's right.
You just roll it up.
It doesn't have to be the whole animal. Yeah.
Doesn't that look smart? Really smart.
I actually think that's a really...
Yeah. So that's what I do. Hang on, I'm just going to put my bed. And kind of get away with it. My wife's not a big fan of dead things in the house.
No.
I have my own office space for that.
Yeah. Totally agree.
Yep. But they're quite nice.
But that'd be an interesting thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, that's what that looks like. And if you're interested in what we're talking about, go and have a look at the YouTube video. Might post it up so you can see it.
Sure.
So I have those in person.
So the one that's been in for 3 years, what is
Right.
it? Just was nothing there.
It's tanned and it's not rotten.
Really?
Nope. And it's solid and there's no hair slippage, and she's ready to just hose off and give it the last of the treatment. It's totally fine.
I just thought it'd be just like on.
I just thought it'd be mush in the bottom.
That's right. Like.
No, I'm not saying it's in primo condition, but I haven't really given it any more attention. I tipped it out because I needed the barrel and refilled it up with new liters tanning solution. And then I went and had a look at it, and I've just thrown it out on my veranda, and I'll give it a wash shortly and see what it comes up like. But it didn't fall apart. It's solid leather, very, very strong, very well tanned leather, and it'll probably need a bit of breaking and dealing too. But it's fine. I couldn't believe it. Yeah. So anyway, they keep asking me, how long do you leave it in the solution? Up to 3 years, I guess.
Up to 3 years. I've never tanned a hide.
I started one, and I didn't do a particularly good skinning job of it, and it didn't look real nice, and I just sort of gave up on it and chucked it. The only part of the tanning I haven't done is the last bit where you've got to break the fibers down. But when you pressure wash a hide off now, like you used to flesh them, you know, and scrape it all off. Using a gurney now, man, you get that skin right down to the hair follicles. It's really, really clean, and there's nothing on it whatsoever.
So do you flesh and then gurney?
No. The gurney does the fleshing.
Oh, so
you can have chunks of meat an inch thick on it. The gurney will flick all of that stuff off.
Just eventually blow it off, yeah.
Yeah, it takes about 10 minutes of pelt.
Because I've got a really good gurney.
Well, a really good one might blow holes in it. You need an oscillating jet rather than the flat jet.
Yeah,
and we're using like Karcher or Still household gurneys, not like real high pressure ones.
I bought a really good one because I had a couple, and they eventually die, and you can tell the difference. The weight in it, the motor is just so much better built. It's not particularly high pressure,
but I mean, you stand back a bit. It's fine.
It's just a really good one, and it's got the the brush head thing that works really well. The brush head thing.
So yep, that's all you do. 10 minutes later, all the flesh, all of the membrane, all the everything is gone, and you're straight back to just leather and hair, and you can literally see the follicles through the back of it. You've cleaned it off well,
and then
straight in the liter solution. Yep. So you don't have to do anything else. But when it comes out of the barrel, when it dries, it stiffens up. And at that point, you've got to break it and make it supple. And there's lots and lots of ways of doing that. So if you're good at this, I'd love to hear what you do for that final stage. How do you break those fibers in the end? A lot of people stick them over barrels and scrape them with dull knives. I'm thinking a fairly stiff plastic brush that goes on a grinder would do the job pretty well.
I don't know. I'm just looking it up. I'm just looking at tanning solutions right now. It's I really like that idea of rolling them up like that.
Yeah, so I'll let you know how the 3-year-old one goes. I'll give it a bit of attention tomorrow and see what happens. But yeah, it's good. So that's tanning.
That subtle, making them supple. That's what you're supposed to rub the brains into, aren't you?
Oh yeah, I think the brains is the tanning solution.
I thought the brains was to give it
No,
put more oil back in it so it became
it might be part of it as well,
softened.
but the brains is the non-chemical way of making a tanning solution. It's the
Mm.
it's the chemical.
Okay.
Yeah. I haven't done that. I usually leave the brains in the
No,
paddock.
I've never done that myself. As I haven't ever done it, so I'm keen. I'm actually
Yeah.
because I thought I'm not gonna. Literally, the reason I've never done it is what am I going to do with this bloody skin once I've done it?
Mm.
But you've inspired me to
Well,
give
here's
that a
my
go
other
again.
way. Here's the other thing I'm doing with it. So I'm making one up for my son because, we managed to take another buck on the weekend, my son and I, which was really cool. And he doesn't particularly want a skull in his room.
Oh, okay.
He's not into skulls. It's
Jesus,
scary for a
man.
7-year-old, but he
My
likes the
boys will
antlers.
love them.
Oh, well, he'll get there. But right now, I've hacked the antlers off this little buck. He said,
Yeah.
Dad, can you shoot me a little buck so I can have some antlers? And I said, yeah, no worries. If we find one, we'll pick one out together and we'll see if we can get him, which we managed to do, which was cool. So I've got the pelt off it. Now, what I'm doing with it, when you often you'll see a canvas frame stretched around a frame board so that the canvas covers the sides as well.
Yep.
Right. So I've seen it done. So you cover the canvas, you cover the frame, sides and all, with the pelt. So you make a square
Oh, yeah,
piece
yeah,
of art,
yeah.
if you like.
I've seen those, yeah.
Then you make another outside frame which just fits on the outside of it, and you squash it on. Does that make sense? So it's just a square frame that the other frame fits inside, and it holds it in place and makes a nice tight edge.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to attach the antlers to the sides of that, one on each side, and it will have a picture hang type thing with the dorsal stripe of the buck.
Oh, okay.
Something a bit different. And I'm thinking about in my podcast room, which I'm building at the moment, putting like the 4 different color phase animals the same way. So I'm going to make 4 different frames, the different color phases.
Okay.
There'll be sound dampeners. There'll be a bit of something different, but they won't just be a dead skin on the ground, which is why I made it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, as my eldest has always been interested in skulls.
Yeah, it's funny, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so that was that. So let me talk about the hunt.
Yeah, go for it. Before we do, just a bit of a kind of product update. We've got a couple of new scopes coming. So it's actually really interesting. We've got scopes at like completely different ends of the spectrum. We've got Burris have released a new gen of the full field range. They've been making that scope for about 50 years now, I believe.
Right.
So I've had a brief look at it. Immediately quite impressive for a scope that's just over $400. We're getting, I think we're getting the 2x8 by 35, which reminds me a lot of the old 2 to 7 by 33, the Lupo. I think they should call it the rifleman scope. So, a variable scope, but not a massive front objective. So this thing's a 35. And there's a illuminate reticle version even, which I thought was pretty impressive. It's got that. As I said, I had a quick look at it. The actual scope barrel, so it's a 1-inch barrel, and the front objective, it kind of flares right out, so it's not like a slow transition. It's that kind of really step transition.
Yep.
Which makes them quite nice for mounting because you've got lots of room on the barrel for the rings. And the other thing, which I haven't had a really good look at yet, is I also believe the Full Force has that a Full Field, has that ability where you can buy the upgraded turrets.
Yeah.
So and you can do it yourself. They're not like something you have to get sent away and refitted. You can fit them yourself. So if you wanted like a more of a target turret on it, you can actually upgrade your scope, which is actually really interesting. Upgrading scopes is not something that, it's one of those areas that usually they are what they are. So you can upgrade it, and I believe they're quite reasonably priced, the upgraded turrets, and it'll give you a zero stop turret. I thought that was quite an interesting. So I'm really keen to see that one, because it's a small, lightweight scope, and I'm really interested in how it would go for my son, to be honest, because it's lighter, and it's certainly, if you were shooting within capabilities, 1 to 300 meters, it's kind of smack bang in that space. The other is almost the complete opposite. We're getting the range of 10.
Yeah.
Which is that kooky thing that Steiner brought out, which goes from 1 to 10. So it's got 1 to 10 magnification, which is, go from...
Why is that kooky?
Well, if you think about it, you're going from dangerous game 1 magnification, or actually no magnification, right through to 10 by magnification in one scope. That's a huge magnification range. So scopes were not so. Look, not so long ago, scopes were 3 by. So you get the 3 by 9, and then you got into things, the 4 bys and the 5 bys, and then the 6 bys. Like I had a Swarovski Z6, which was a 1 to 6. Now you get the 2 to 10. So it's a 5 by, 1 to 6. Now we've got a 1 to 10. So we've got a 10 by magnification range of one scope. So it's shaped like a dangerous game scope. So the smaller barrel, smaller front of objective, big eyepiece at the back for you, but a 10 by and illuminated reticle. And I'm really keen to see what that is. I'm seriously thinking that I'm going to probably move it across a few rifles. If it's as nice as I'm hoping it's going to be, which by the looks of it is, I'm going to move it across a few rifles, including the Chapuis. Put it on the Chapuis for up some territory. So that's 2 really interesting scopes that are going to land in our laps. And the third...
and the full field too, price-wise, they're incredible.
It's like $400-something bucks.
Yeah.
And, limited warranty, admittedly, but it's a limited lifetime warranty. So I'm really keen to see how that is, because it could very well be a really good entry-level scope at a ridiculously cheap price, which you can upgrade, which kind of makes it even more interesting. Keen to see that one, and of course really keen to see the Steiner Ranger, the 1 to 10, and see what that sits like on my double rifle. And probably on the BRX as well. I'll probably move it around. Both of them. The Chapuis has a rail on it. I got it fitted for the optics, so it's got an optics rail. So it might be just a simple matter of swapping them over. And the third interesting thing is, so as you well know, we did an upgrade on the BRX for yours by going from 3006 to 300 Win Mag, and at the same time we upgraded Mark Hobbs's stock package. Well, we got another stock package coming for you, a timber stock package. Make it.
Am I allowed to get it wet?
Fancy ants, mancy.
Yeah. So my territory gun is going to go back to a 300 Win Mag, but we're going to use one of the new timber stock replacement stocks that come with the BRX. Should be good to see, and a new scope. And I'm probably going to use one of these full field scopes. Up there, one of these little full field scopes, just to see what they're like. We're up close and personal anyway. We don't need crazy magnification.
It's a big animal.
I'm not stressed about it being a lesser quality scope than the Steiner that I use or anything like that. I think it'll be perfectly fine for the job that it's got to do. And if the worst case happens, I'll have the Lupo with me, and I'll just have to go chasing down buffalo with an Eliminator 6.
Yeah. And the thing is, again, the BRX runs a Picatinny rail.
Yeah.
So if you've got rings, it's literally
On
swap,
off.
swap, 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 swap. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, very, very interesting approach. So that's so that'll be, and there is actually that timber stock. There's actually a couple of grades in that. There's a fancy grade in that as well. So you can really jazz it up. So that's probably the really cool stuff in the the final one was, I believe there's another variant of the Lupo from Benelli coming out, which is a more of an entry level one. It doesn't have the best.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the best system. It uses a blue barrel, but other than that, it's a Lupo. So it'd be good.
And they're a nice rifle. They're a very nice rifle.
Be good to see what that looks like too. Okay, let's talk about.
Well, since we're talking about gear, I'm replugging this little sucker. It's the Olight Perrin Mini 3. We did a review on it, chucked it up on the YouTube channel. Go and have a look at it. It is bloody good. I've now been running around with it every morning for a few weeks. Its battery lasts for ages. There's one thing, though. It talks about a spec where it has 5 light settings. 1, 2, 3, 4 turbo. I can only find 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, no, probably doesn't have enough battery to do the other one. Once you get down to a certain battery level, it won't go to the high modes. It won't function on the high modes once you've run enough battery up, which is where I'm at now. But I've never been able to get more than 3 modes plus the turbo out of it. Plus red light, it's different. But it talks about 4 modes plus turbo. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's bloody good. I put it on half light. So there's the moonlight, which lasts for days and days and days. And then I think there's the next level up lasts for 170 hours or something. I've been using it on that. It's great. It's so good. It's so light. You don't even know it's on your head. Definitely is now my favorite torch for hunting. Definitely.
Yeah, I really like how they've incorporated the resistance in the barrel when you put it on your head.
Resistance in the barrel.
Well, so the way, for instance, I've got the earlier model, and the way, it's clipped on by this rubber strap.
It's a rubber strap, yeah.
But more importantly, that within that plastic housing on your head is a groove or a channel for the metal clip.
Yeah, the pen clip, if you like.
Yeah, pen clip. So, but when you put in that groove, because when I first got this, I thought, I'll get rid of that. It gets in the way. If you put this in the groove, so it resets in, that clip then provides fantastic resistance
better
when
tension.
you rotate it.
Yeah.
So it won't. You can rotate it and it will not move.
It doesn't slide, yeah.
But it's completely adjustable because it's simply just it's clipped onto the barrel and it's basically grabbing the barrel as you rotate it.
Yeah.
And I actually find that is fantastic. So when you're actually doing something, you can have this almost pointing right at your feet. So when you're in camp, you're not blinding everybody.
Yeah.
You can literally have it in front of you.
So this one grabs the new housing. So the new plastic housing has got a push button release, and that pen clip clips into the push button release. It doesn't have a rubber band strap at all, and just clips on. So it does the same thing you're talking about because that's clipped into place, and I can now turn the light.
It's the actual clip that provides the resistance to it because it's got a really strong grasp on it. So it provides a really high level of resistance. So you can position it, but it won't move from that position.
Right. It's great. It's good light. I like the clip. It's easy to take on and off your head. Use it, poke it around, do whatever you got to do, stick it back on your head. And it's so light that I don't know how many times I've been sitting at the table having breakfast after being out for my morning run, and my wife looking at me, shaking her head, going, "Why is there a torch on your head?" Because you forget.
Yeah. Well, there's lots of video of me with it on because I started with it in dusk or dark, and then sunrise, I've just left it on there. So
Yeah. Cool. All right. So there's that. The last thing I'll talk about before I talk about the hunt is a new initiative
Oh, yeah.
Hearing it here first. A new initiative that we've been working on with our friends at Beretta Australia, and that is to bring a new social feed, I guess, if you like, which is Beretta Dog Australia. So to make it lots of fun, we've been talking to them about this for a while, because a lot of us are getting into hunting over dogs, and we wanted to, add some social media fun around those dogs as they're hunting, and bring them into the social channels, and show off what their capabilities are, and just promote gun dogs in general. So our friends at Beretta Australia, they went off and they created a bunch of Beretta dog collars for us. And we're now kind of sponsoring a litter of pups. Now, you would have seen on the last podcast that that Frank, our good friend Frank, that I think everybody knows, his dog Joan has had a litter of pups, I think 10 or 12 pups, and they are being distributed to their new owners this weekend. So he's travelling up through New South Wales, dropping off puppies, and he'll make his way up to Toowoomba, and he'll base himself here, and all the Queensland people will come and pick up their pups, which is pretty cool. So there'll be, I think, 6 or 7 pups that come up tomorrow, and they'll all be based around here for the weekend. So we're going to go in and get some video and some cool stuff, and put big collars on cute little puppies. And who doesn't like a puppy at the end of the day? But because there's a bunch of them here in Queensland, we're going to get to follow their training process, because it's not just, here's your dog, good luck, have fun. Frank's done a fabulous job of packaging up not just his dog, but the big game indicating dog blueprint training package. He's already started to pre-train these dogs so that they're starting to be, the separation anxiety away from their litter and away from their mum is going to be minimized. He's already started to do basic handling with them as they're growing up, the sit, the stay, just the little basic stuff that you can do with a pup. But we're going to follow a few of these pups as they grow and as they go through their training, and hopefully we'll get to follow behind 1 or 2 of them as they manage to help take their first deer as well. So it'll be a 12 to 18 month sort of process. We'll follow them along. Beretta Dog AU, hashtag Beretta Dog AU if you want to follow along. If you've got a gun dog, feel free to join the fun. Post some stuff up. You may even get some Beretta Dog bling come your way. And just join the family. It'll be good fun. So follow along. They'll be up here shortly. We'll post some videos. Everybody likes a puppy, even if they look like gremlins. Frank,
Frank reached out to us and offered us one as well.
Did he?
After the podcast, in fact.
Oh, yes.
And we had to say no, because we're at this stage, because we're going away at the end of the year for 6 weeks, and I didn't want to get a pup and then be away for that period of time. So we'll 2026 we'll probably get one as well. Yep. He literally said, because Frank met my son down at Nundle, and immediately saw my boy's attachment to all things dog.
Yeah, he did enjoy it.
And so yes, so we a nice little pup. So we're going to come up anyway. It's all part of my scheme to influence puppy purchasing. We're coming up to look, to watch.
Yeah, window shopping. Very good. Well, it'll be fun.
That's it.
Follow along. It'll be good. All right. So, lucky me, managed to get out on the weekend for my first winter hunt, first of a couple. So private block down in New South Wales, and managed to tee it up so that we could take our good friend Hendo for his first hunt. I should have invited him on the podcast to talk about it. Maybe we'll do that another day. But it was great. It was really good. Great facility. There's a little hut there, so you sort yourself out at the hut, get everything squared away, grab your hunting gear, and head out. And probably within, I think we had an idea that we wanted to go and put John in front of a deer at a reasonable distance. It wasn't too easy, wasn't too hard, but wasn't going to stress him out too much. And we managed to spot a few and put a really good stalk on over an hour or so, and he made some pretty good choices. He was lining up on his first animal over a log, but decided it just wasn't steady enough for a 260 meter shot on a log. So we repositioned him and snuck in a bit closer and managed to get a good prone position on the bipods and take his first animal, which was just brilliant. Big beaming smile on his face. So it was really, really good to see. Yeah, absolutely.
Whacked at that 7 mil.
Yep. So so that was deer number 1. We called that a night. We could have gone out and had a look for a couple more, but we figured we'd just sort of celebrate that single animal at the time. And we gutted it out, removed the parts we didn't want, and slung the bloody thing across his shoulders and made him carry it back to camp, which was good. So
he's a big fella, so
yeah, he's all right. He can handle
he's
it.
a big tall bloke. So
Yeah, that's right. And it was only a small animal. So that was really cool. And then we went through the process with him of, skinning and butchering and getting everything ready to come home, which we like to do, which is pretty cool. So bit of celebration back in camp that night and up again the next morning. Now, of course, my son was with us and he's only just getting into hunting. And if you didn't see during the fallow rut, he came with me on pretty much his first hunt. He'd been on one little walk around at Nundle, but I don't really classify that as a hunt. It was a bit of a pre-scout, put some cameras up thing. But this was his first hunt during the rut, and we managed to take a really nice buck, which is off getting taxidermied at the moment. But the thing about that hunt was because it was his first, I was quite cautious about that whole process. I didn't want it to be too shock and awe, which meant that, while I was sneaking up on the animal, he stayed back a little bit and watched from, 50 meters back, something like that. And the property owner was with us, so kept him, entertained / distracted a little bit from carnage, just in case something went pear-shaped. Well, it turned out that it didn't, and that animal fell over pretty well, and he was fine with the whole thing. But he's been asking, can we go and do it again? Can we go and do it again? And at the time in the paddock, he was a little bit standoffish about it, as you can imagine a 7-year-old might be. And you worry about that for your son. That is it too early, or is it?
Yeah, that's right.
What's going on? You just don't. You got to be super careful with this stuff. Yeah. And of course afterwards, and like he is with just about everything, if you ask him about something that was exciting, it's like, oh yeah, hey, it was all right. It was all right. Yeah. And you're like, well, come on, man, this was supposed to be a moment for us. Yeah. He's like, yeah. But then in the background, when people ask him questions, you hear him get very animated, and he talks about it and he loves it, and he had a great experience, which was really cool. So he was bugging me to go back, and I thought it was a good opportunity to take him and take Hendo out there, and we'd chase down some more animals. So I wanted to see if I could track down another decent-sized buck. There was still rumored to be in the area. In fact, there was video of an absolutely beautiful buck there the day before, holding 20 or 30 does
still holding.
Still holding or still interacting with. But yeah, he was one buck. There was a young spiker, second year head still there, and he had 30 or so does with him. So I got very excited about that, and he was a spectacular looking animal, by the way. He wasn't he probably, well, according to the property owner, probably the best they'd seen. So there was a little bit of arm wrestle bartering going on about whether I could or couldn't shoot that animal, because maybe the property owner wanted it for himself. But anyway, it would come down to, we'll make a decision when we find it type thing. So the next morning, because Hendo had shot his animal, it was my turn, and we passed up a lot of meat deer along the way. We managed to pass a couple here, a couple over there, 5 more over there. There's a lot of deer out there. And eventually we bumped into the mob of 30 or 40 animals, and we thought, okay, this is it. I'd actually left the group being the property owner and Hendo and my son. We were down in the creek, and we saw a bunch of them heading up over a ridge in front of us. I said, I'm just gonna bust it up that hill and see if I can head these things off and see what's up there, which is exactly what I did. I just went all the way around, got the wind right, crossed over to where they were, and I managed to bump into the stragglers that were just behind the mob of 30 odd that were over the ridge. So from the top of the ridge now, I was able to have a really good vantage point, about 400 or 500 meters, at what was, we think, the group that buck was holding. So, of course, I've called the guys up. They've come up with their binos, and we're all just picking the whole mob apart, trying to find these antlers. And as you can imagine, he's going to have been bedded down somewhere in sight, but he wasn't showing himself. He's not that stupid. But because my son said, I'd love to get a little buck, if we can get one, because I quite like the antlers. I don't want the skull, but, if we get a little buck, that'd be cool. Right in the middle of this pack was this really nice Menal young buck, second year head type thing. So we spent some time together looking at it through the binos. He spent some time on the binos. He's just learning how to, get them to fit his face and all that sort of stuff. So we took heaps of time watching over this mob. And in the end, I said, is this the one you want? He said, yep, that'd be really cool, Dad. So we snuck him in behind a log and lined up on it. And I think it was about a 230-meter shot. We knocked it over, which was just awesome. So, excuse me, late at night podcasting. Sorted that one out, made our way back to camp, and then that afternoon we went out again and managed to knock over 3 or 4 more, which was really good, meat animals. So by the end of that, 6 animals, lots of butchering. By the time we'd finished, John had learned how to skin, John had learned how to butcher, John had learned how to pull a deer apart multiple times, and it's all practice on the knives that make these things stick in your brain.
I'm always interested in seeing how people do it because, I don't know anyone who's ever been formally trained in it. So, it can be quite interpretive. So it's always interesting to see. So it would be interesting to see with that many the approach, because you probably would, as you said, you probably figure out a way that you want to, after 6 or something, you'd kind of go, this is my approach. Be interesting to see it.
Well, it is exactly that. Yeah.
And the fact that you're hanging them too, which is so much easier. I mean, most of my stuff I'm always on the ground, so it's more of what can you do with what you have rather than how would you do this if you had a better setup.
Yeah.
So be really interesting to see that.
Yeah, it is it's a good way to handle it. The time I went there before that, we dealt with 12. And that was a long butchering process. Well into the night.
So that's
the 6 we had done relatively quickly, but we when I did the 12, I didn't skin them all. I took the quarters off, skin on, and then we dealt with each quarter individually. Whereas these ones I skinned because we wanted to keep the hides and show John how to do it, and it was a really good experience. So,
I mean, when we used to hunt when we have hunted places, even like Severn actually, and at Pilliga, when you get a lot of goats, that's what we used to do. We used to basically have a workshop where we just get them all, and everyone would chuck in it, process them down to quarters, and then have someone who was just skinning out quarters and then putting them on ice. So you get that kind of process going where you're doing bulk meat preparation, but it'd be again really interesting to see the different approaches, the way people skin out. Do they skin up, do they skin down, the whole things like that.
Yeah. Even I think even when you start to take volumes of deer, even what you do with them in the field before you get them back to camp, like you've got to release the back end and then the trachea as well, so that you can pull it through into the chest.
How do you do that? I mean,
just learning how to do that again.
There's a traditional ringing method. I've also got one of those
twisty tool things.
Butt plug.
Does it work?
Huh?
Does it work?
I've never used it. I haven't used it because often I'm just taking quarters and back straps. So I haven't done that kind of.
You don't cut them then?
No, because I usually take the quarters.
So you're then, and again, I've done plenty of those as well, but are you not then worried about not checking livers and things like that?
Well, no, generally I'll split them and have a look.
No, you do.
I
You
split
don't
it.
bother
and
gutting
have a
them
look.
first, though. You just do
No, I
that
just
at the
split
end.
it and have a look, and then I go, okay. And yeah, so I split, and I do that. I got in the habit of doing that from actually hunting on private land where I didn't want to leave a carcass like that on the ground.
Yeah.
So I would split them. That was the first thing I do. I'd split them, and of course you'd see things like livers and stuff in a way. But more importantly, to basically let the animal break down a lot quicker.
Yeah. 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 And it's quite funny. I remember when I first took Adam out on a hunt, when we went to one of the slam blocks, and I was joking with Adam because it was freezing cold up in the hills above Glen Innes. And I was like, I just need to shoot a deer so I can slip my hands inside its cavity and warm them up because it's so warm in there. He thought I was a freak. Well, of course, I get to
know
repeat.
exactly what he would have said to that.
Yeah,
I know the term he would have. Term he would have used to describe that.
Like, slow down here.
Yeah, he might be joining us in the Pilliga too.
Oh yeah, good. Yeah. Well, anyway, I may have used that line again while we were out there on the block, and John gave me the sideways glance, but he understood. By the end of the night, we'd gutted a couple of animals out in the paddock, and he had nice warm hands. So it was pretty good. But it's a fun experience, and always good to share it with somebody that is a good friend, and also he's worked hard to get his first animal over 4 years. So good on him, and now he's got that monkey off his back. He's keen to go back for more. I think he's already got eyes on a buck. Have to slow him down.
Well, it's a good block, so.
So that was that. So I don't think I've got much else that I was going to cover.
You were going away at the end of this month, but you're not now. That's correct, isn't it?
Yeah, we've unfortunately.
Well, you're going away, but you're not going away for.
I'm not going hunting. No, our next hunt will be with the Hellenic guys.
So I'm away for a goodly chunk of time at the beginning of next month. So we're going to our winter hunt, the annual one. That is when I say that, I mean my son and I. It's our annual hunt together. It's a winter hunt, and we're going to do. We got the 7 days in the Pilliga. So got the full 7 days. That does include travel, but we'll be down there. So that'll be, and it's looking pretty chilly down there at the moment, but very dry, nice and dry. So I got Pilliga East and Pilliga West. There's quite a group, and we've decided that we're all going to get east, so we can all camp together. But we might we're going to have different forests for the second one. So I'm probably going to go to west. The guys are going to explore the other forests around the Pilliga. One of the reasons I wanted to go to west because it was on the way to Pilliga West that I saw the deer. Wasn't in the shooting zone at the time, but it was on the way.
Oh, I got one more bit of gear to share.
Oh, okay.
So.
I was going to say is that a bearded blade?
This is a bearded Bladeworks knife. Now, so they reached out to us and asked us whether we'd have a look at one of their knives, not to promote at all, but just to give them some feedback on the knife itself, because he's fairly new at crafting these things, and just wanted some feedback. Now,
I may have overfed his feedback. In fact, if I remember correctly, I gave quite some feedback.
You gave him a little bit of design support, yes.
That's it.
But he already had one made, so up it came. Yeah. Regardless of our preferences, design, support, ideas, this is what we got, and comes in a nice sheath. Oh, shizen, that's sharp. Sheath fell off. Sheath needs to be a bit tighter. This one's a bit loose.
There we go.
But it is a lovely knife, right? For the size it is. Now, this is far too big for me to be a hunting knife. But as far as the design, the construction, the materials, it's a very nice knife.
The blade for me is not drop point enough for a hunter.
Oh,
I
not
would
quite.
prefer to a drop point or a
Well, I
locust.
mean, let's be real. The entire knife is not right
Yeah, no,
for
it's
what
much
we
more like
do.
it's more like a camp knife.
Yeah. So it
I
did
would call
play
that
its
like
part. It played its
yeah, oh
part
yeah,
in butchering those deer.
mm,
It did, it did the hocks really well. It took the heads off very well. It's a very solid knife.
mm,
You can just crack the tail off when you're skinning it. Those sorts of things. So it played its part. But as far as the ideal knife in terms of size, it's not it. But he
mm,
totally understands that. Um, but I'd love to see what he could make in a hunting package because
yeah,
the material is beautiful. It's pulled apart, helped me pull apart, and those 6 animals. But not only did it do that, it's doing the rough bits as well. Like it's doing bone stuff, around
yep,
joints and things like that, and it is still razor sharp.
yeah.
So
It's a very well constructed knife. You can
it is,
see it.
yeah, it's beautiful, really, really, brilliant.
Yeah, as I said, it reminds me more of like a camp knife rather than a dedicated hunter.
Yeah, I
It's
wouldn't carry it. It's not coming in my pack. It's about
no,
5 times heavier than it needs to be for that sort of thing.
and whilst I greatly admire leather, and I think Kydex is by far the more sensible option for anything that you're going to hunt with. For a sheath, the Kydex the plastic sheath, the Kydex sheaths,
They're
they
funny.
they're so easy to clean. If you get anything in them, you can just literally wash them out with water.
Yeah.
Like we're going to
Going to
talk
be a
about
lot of people
knives.
that disagree with that. I mean,
Oh yeah, that's okay.
people love good knives, right?
Oh man, look, here we go. I've got one right here.
Yeah.
So here is a full leather
Oh,
knife
knife point.
designed to. Yeah, well, this is designed to that a horizontal sheath, and so this is the Falkeven Idune, which is they're about six. This is about $650 new nowadays.
Oh yeah.
That's a Falkeven Idune. It's a what? It's regarded as one of the best production knives made. I got this years ago. So it's leather stacked. This is a second. This is not the original sheath. This is a horizontal sheath. So you can wear it. It's designed to wear horizontally, or you can put on a pack. Very heavy, absolutely beautiful. But I've kind of moved away from knives like that for a hunting situation.
Yeah.
I much prefer a synthetic handle and a synthetic sheath just for the hunt, just for hunt things that I'm going to butcher with. That's what I prefer. So over the time I've moved into Benchmades, but I still do love a leather stacked handle knife and a leather sheath. But
Right.
it's like people. I had a conversation with someone recently about timber stocks versus synthetic stocks. I've always had timber stocks, but some people don't like them because they think they're either easily damaged or they're gonna be affected by the elements. I've never ever had a timber stock that's been affected by the elements. It's just personal choice.
Yeah. Well, I have a couple of other knife examples here. This one here is a purpose-made, custom-made one. It was actually made from a big Swiss Army knife that was given to my father as a wedding present by his brother, which was totally useless but good steel. So I gave it to a knife maker who turned it into a more purpose-built knife, which is very sharp, and we've had initials engraved on the outside of it. You can't see it in the picture, but my dad's initials, my initials, and of course my son's initials are on here. And he'll get this knife when he shoots his first deer, not when we shoot a deer together. So that one sits over there, and it's a good shape. It's got the long drop on it that I like.
Yeah.
But he's honed that pretty well for me, and I'm quite happy with that as a knife. Never been used, still sharp as as sharp as the day it came to me. This is my go-to knife though. This was given to me by the guys at the hunting club for my 40th birthday. It's a Bark River knife.
Yep.
And it's smaller again. It's
Yep.
a really nice small knife. And this is the kind of knife that I would like to see Bearded Blade Works make. It's a much, much smaller blade. If you can see it, if you're watching us, quite a lot different.
Yep.
In terms of size. It's just really nice in the handle. It's a synthetic handle. It can get all bloody and shitty and it doesn't matter. In fact, it needs a bit of a clean, but they're the types of knives we like. And before we finish talking about knives, since there was quite a bit of chit-chat about the Hunter's Campfire branded knives, which we had, which are Outdoor Edge everyday carry folding knife.
Yep.
With the replaceable blades. If you haven't seen them, go to our website. No, don't go to our website. Go to our Facebook page. They're on there. We have an order of them coming. So, first people to put their names down for them, get them, because they're going to go as soon as they arrive.
Yeah.
Lots of people keen. So, if you want a Hunter's Campfire engraved Outdoor Edge foldable everyday carry replaceable blade knife in blaze orange, let me know. I'll put you on the list. They are, I can't tell you how much they are. I'm not allowed.
They're around about $100 or something.
They're about $100. They're cheaper than you'll be able to buy them.
That's right. They're about $100.
And that's not because we've degraded them with our logo, by the way.
It's just that, that's it.
It's a value add.
That's it. It's $100 plus postage, something like that.
Yeah. Go and check out Bearded Blade Works. He makes very, very nice knives.
And he's got a great logo too.
Yeah, he does. Yeah. A beard and some blades.
That's it. Next time I'm going to have to bring. I'll show you a custom knife I got made some years ago. That's going to the territory this year. I had an idea for a custom skinner based on Kiwi knife, in fact.
I'd like to see. So the one that I like, the Bark River knife. On the outside of the sheath, it has a steel
the little
that
steel
you can unscrew out. That goes on, that screws onto there, so that you've now got a handle for it, of course. But I'd like to see a sheath that has two blades, one on the outside, one on each outside, so one on each side. And I'd like to see a drop point, a small, nifty drop point on one side and a boning knife on the other. A thin boning blade on the other, on one sheath. That would be my ultimate go-to knife package if I was going to be taking something like that.
Well, oddly enough, I made something like that some years ago. So I got quite a hefty sheath made, a stitch sheath made from, like a webbing, and I was able to slice a bit of the webbing and actually put two knives opposing into it like that.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm going to take to the territory. I'll take my Benchmade, which went last year. There's that photo of me with you holding the leg up and me
you're hanging on to it.
Hand. But yeah, I'm going to take this Skinner up. So I'll show. It's in the shed at the moment, and it's too cold to go to the shed to get it at the moment. So
That's all right.
I'll bring it out for next time and show it off, because it's actually a very different interpretation altogether. It's a curved blade.
Cool. Share that. That'd be good.
And I want to see how it goes in the territory on the buffalo hide.
Yeah. Before we wrap,
Mm-hmm.
has there been any update on the political arenas? Is it all now quiet?
I know that it's much. So I haven't caught anything in the last couple of days. The last thing I did see was a bit of video. Though there has been certainly a lot of posts on Facebook supporting it.
Yeah.
And kind of like obviously Shitters, Fishers and Farmers posts about it. There was the libertarian, I can't think of his name, the libertarian guy in New South Wales. Do you see the one where he's supporting it? He's saying that, there's things he doesn't like about it, like he doesn't like the fact that you can't hunt in national parks.
But nobody likes that. But the fact is, in New South Wales, you can't hunt there now, and they're kind of
Well, no, he
protecting the
doesn't
others
like
by
that. He doesn't
pausing
like.
it.
He doesn't like the fact that they're saying that you shouldn't hunt in national parks. I think that's what he was saying. He's saying you should be able to hunt in national parks. I think
Yeah,
that's.
but your view on that the same of mine. They're sacrificing something we're never going to get to protect the things and grow the things that
To
we do
grow.
have. So it's a give and take scenario.
It's in the wider world we call that negotiation.
Right, and not only that, we're negotiating something out that it's highly, highly unlikely we're ever going to get.
That's right. You would,
Throw the baby out with the bathwater comes to mind.
Well,
if
you're
you're going
saying
to latch on to things you can't have.
Oh God, I can't think. There is actually a very good term for that. There's where basically you give up things that you're never going to win to demonstrate your goodwill that you're willing to give up things. And there's a term for it, and it's escaped me. But anyway, the other interesting thing is he was talking about he didn't like the fact that it was to create a new government department because libertarians are against big government, and so it was going to create extra bureaucracy, and he didn't like that. But other than expressing what he didn't like about it, which was fair enough, he obviously they're supporting it.
Yeah.
There was Ned Macon made this really interesting thing. He was talking about some of the criticism. It was really oblique, so I didn't quite get it all. But some of the criticism was that either the Greens or one of the Animal Justice came out and said that hunters were going to ask for flamethrowers or something like that. It was really weird. He was just stunned at what people say.
It's crazy, isn't it? They all think we're
Well, it's just that people say anything. That's what it is. Parliamentary privilege. Say anything about you and who you are, and just to get a not a point, but to get a political point across the line. So I haven't seen any update. But as was expected, it's going to be it's going to be a fair bit of argy-bargy to get it through. But it appears that they feel there's a level of confidence around getting it through. So good luck to them. It's not easy. It's not an easy game to win.
No, it's not. It's a difficult one. Anyway, we'll bring more updates when we can. The other thing that I noticed as I finish up is that this week, and I say this week, when you're listening to this, it'll be next week, it'll be last week actually. It's International Men's Health Week.
Oh, I
this
didn't
week.
know that.
So get a hunt fit, people. Hunt fit. It's a good program. Anyway, we're going pretty well. Lots of people on there now, all doing super, super well. If you're on the fence or you're interested, just send us a message. We'll have a yarn to you. But lots of people hitting 30, 40, 50 kilo loss milestones and, getting themselves more active out there. So this is a good program.
Okay. That's not a bad place to end.
Excellent. Thanks, Mark.
Okay, buddy. See you next week.